I don't think I ever want to see a photo of my face mirrored.
Me either.
And I've got to tell you, these things were huge. You can see how big they are. They're like probably 20 times bigger than your actual head. And when the ladies and Jimmy, when they all came out of the manch and had a look at these things, like I would have reacted exactly the same way. In fact, you saw a little bit of it, but there was more than one of them who was like just jumping in front of it. Like their first reaction was, don't show this. Don't show this. But it's a really unfair thing. We have asymmetrical faces, and to show our faces symmetrical, it looks super weird, man.
Yeah, except for Holly, who, like, still looked perfect. I would have been so dirty if Holly was in my sort of group of women. I'm just like, okay, you perfect model. Sure, thanks. Do you believe this, Osher? Do you believe the whole face reading thing? Because...
I think there's something to it. As a man who's nearly 50, my face, the lines of wear and tear in my face indicate the general facial expressions that I have been holding for most of my adult life. And I'd like to think that most of them are not angry ones. So I think generally when you look at my face, you can see a lot of the emotions that I generally express outwardly. And I don't think that's a stretch. As far as, anything else goes, look, it's all up. Whatever you want. Take it or leave it, But I thought she had a lot of interesting things to say. I think face readings, it's pretty interesting. There's a lot that you can probably gain from that. I don't know about a rebellious hairline. I've never heard of a rebellious hairline.
A sensitive chin.
What's a sensitive chin? What is that supposed to mean?
I really appreciated Jay's comment because it was the first thing I thought of as well, where Jay basically said, what happens if you've just spoken to me, Osher, about your face showing, how you've held yourself over the years.
Yeah.
I've had about 80 units of Botox through this forehead between various seasons of Bachelor in Paradise. And I'm just wondering, I want to know what she would read off my face because I can't really move it that much. So I don't really buy the face reading, I have to say. But I will come along for the TV fantasy, and I think it is good to open up, at the very least, whether it's a bit of theatrics, I think that it does catalyze these conversations.
Just back to your earlier point there, Alisha, and I had to read a lot about this when Wolfie was little. He's 2, so he's still little, but kids learn emotional regulation and how to react to situations by looking at their parents and the adults in the room as to how they react, and they copy them. And there is actually research about emotional development of kids. And if there's no micro expressions going on with the parent, it's very difficult for the emotional development of the kid to happen naturally. There's research onto this. And I don't think a lot of people realize that when they want to get rid of small lines around their eyes, that they might be stunting their child's ability to know when things are good or bad.
I'll have to slow down then before I pop one out.
It's really worth looking into, because if you don't know if things are a good thing or a bad thing, that's the only way we know. And when see kids are little, you see them check the adults in the room out to know how to react to a situation. We might just think that big gross motor movements like a smile or a laugh or a frown is the things that's sending the message, but it's the tiny little movements, the itty-bitty muscles around their eyes that tell them what's going on. So I think Jay had a fairly good point there.
Yeah. And I think there's power in the face reading exercise in the sense that, I don't think it's just children. I think we also pick up on those subtleties in our partner and how they are expressing themselves and how they're feeling about a certain situation. I know with me and Glenn, one of the biggest successes in our relationship, and one of the reasons why I think we fundamentally work is, and people say this about their own relationships, he's very in tune with me as a person, and he can pick up how I'm feeling without me having to explicitly express myself all the time. And, there's going to be points in any relationship where you do just need to. So much of the time we hear in relationships that people just your partner's not a mind reader. Sometimes you just have to tell them what you're feeling. But it is very helpful in our relationship and in anyone's relationship if you can pick up little bits and pieces about your partner.
Yeah, I'm the not a mind reader kind. To much frustration of the intimate partners I've had in my life, unfortunately, but that is what it is.